Allison, roll call is out with its election preview this morning. It's must-reading in Washington, D.C. It includes a list of which current members of Congress are most vulnerable to being unseated in the fall and which states will have the hardest-fought campaigns. Joining us now is Kyle Trygstad. I got it right before we were on the air. He's a staff writer with Roll Call. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you once again.
Thanks.
All right, let's talk. I want to get the numbers down, make sure I have them right. Seats up for grabs in the Senate. Democrats hold 23, Republicans hold 10.
Right.
So how many might each party lose, does it look like?
Sure. Well, Democrats hold a 53 to 47 majority currently, so Republicans need to pick up 4 seats. And given the numbers you just read, they have a chance to do that. States like Missouri, Nebraska, these are tough states for Democrats to win. President Barack Obama is not going to win them. North Dakota, Montana, that's 4 right there that Republicans can pick up and take the majority. Of course, Republicans have their own to defend in Massachusetts and Nevada, 2 tough states for Republicans. So it's going to be interesting.
I know that, and you mentioned in the article that the Democrats feel, yeah, there could be some trouble afoot, but they feel like maybe the negative campaigning by the GOP and some of that kind of thing might mitigate some of those numbers.
They do. They think that in a state like Indiana, a very tough state for a Democrat to win, but Republicans have a tough primary there. They feel like if one candidate comes out of there, Democrats might have a better chance of picking that up.
Which incumbents, generally speaking, have the toughest opposition for this year?
Democrats are, well, you got Scott Brown in Massachusetts. I think that's the number one. He's running in a state that Obama's certainly going to win. He won by a huge margin last time. Expected to win by a big margin again this time. I think he's the number one incumbent you have to look at.
I want to go through, we said we would do the top 10 members who are in serious danger of losing their seats in Congress. And one of particular interest here, obviously, is Representative Bartlett in Maryland.
Yeah, Roscoe Bartlett, we honestly did not think he was even going to run again. His district was drawn so badly for him. He's, in the Frederick area. It's looking so bad for him. But, he's fighting. He's an 85-year-old, but he's really fighting for another term. But his district, drawn by Democratic legislature, not looking too good for him. Same thing in Georgia, where Republicans control redistricting. John Barrow, a Democrat from the Savannah area, he lost the very Democratic-leaning areas in Savannah, picked up Augusta suburbs, very Republican area. It's looking like he's going to have a very tough time coming back as well.
I want to show some of the other pictures here, and we don't necessarily have to go through all of them individually, but of these 3, which are the most interesting? Which is the most interesting of these races?
Well, Larry Kissel in North Carolina, Republicans won control of the legislature down there. Then they, in turn, control redistricting. It's the same story across the country. If one party controls the legislature, the other party is going to have a tough time winning some seats back.
Let's show the others, and while we're showing them, we can go ahead and talk about something. What about, going into these elections, one of the things that we're hearing about so much is people generally feeling like Congress isn't getting anything done, and it's the old throw the bums out mentality.
Right.
But it's sounding like a lot of these guys have a pretty good, some of these guys have a fairly good chance of staying in.
Well, they do, and normally they would have a good chance, except, we have this decennial process of redistricting that is totally redrawing their districts. People are representing areas they've never represented before. Gary Miller, who we showed up there, he's running in a district he's never represented any of it before. Totally new people, and so you just don't know anymore. And so I think redistricting is the #1 reason that we're going to see a lot of incumbents fall this year.
Wow, that's crazy. Among those who didn't make the top 10 that we necessarily showed, who else might be in danger of losing an election this year?
Well, there's a lot of people in California. California, for the first time, the legislature did not draw it this time. It was the people voted for a commission. Citizen legislators, if you will, controlled the drawing, and so incumbent safety was not something they were worried about. And so you're going to see a lot of incumbents around the country, and you're going to see incumbents running against each other. There's more than a dozen districts across the country where incumbents are running against each other, so at least one of them's not coming back.
So we don't just have the presidential politics. It's going to be a very interesting year in terms of the Congress as well.
Absolutely, and Roll Call is covering all that.
All right, very good. Kyle, thank you very much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to have your analysis.